Hello everybody. So we are looking at the coordinate plane, some facts that we want to know about it. The x-axis is this bottom axis here that goes left and right, also known as horizontal. Your y-axis goes up and down, or vertical. And the origin, where the y and x-axis meet, right there in the corner, that's what that's called. It's called the origin, and we'll come back to that later as an ordered pair of 0, 0. And the last definition there is ordered pair, and that's the coordinates of any point. That means just any spot. Each point has a very specific location, an x and a y, and we want to make sure we read the x first. So the two examples we have here, if you look at point B, the orange dot here, that has coordinates of 5, 2. The x is 5, and all we're doing is looking at this x-axis, and you just kind of see where the orange dot lines up. You can even count it over like a number line, just kind of follow your finger, and it's right at 5. And that's all that it is. The x value is 5. And then you just follow straight across. If you want to draw the lines to help you, you can see that the y value is 2. So that point B, B is just a random letter, it could be any letter, is 5, 2. If you look at point A up top here, that's 2, 5, which is different. It's a different location on the grid. Now we're looking at the x value as 2. So you're going over 2. You just kind of line it up like a puzzle. You see this dot here has got a 2 as an x value. And then the corresponding y just straight across, you see the 5 right there. You just read it like a picture. So 2, 5 we would say is the ordered pair. And if we do treat these two lines as number lines, we go back down here to the corner, that's where 0 is. It's 0 for the x-axis, because you can see x is going to start with the 1 here. And it's also 0 for the y-axis, so that's why we call that 0, 0 would be the ordered pair. Okay, so these are the kind of problems you might see. You're going to be asked to plot a point, or draw a point, or mark a point, any kind of word you want to use. And there's a couple that are already done for you there. So if you look at point B, we've gone over 1 and up 5. That ordered pair is 1, 5. Remember, always read the x first. And let's do one together. Point A, you can pause the video now if you want to try this on your own, if you feel like you're understanding it, or just let it play and we'll do it together. So point A has 2, 3. Always start with your x-axis. You go over 2. Also, always start at the origin. It's just like starting at the beginning, the origin, the original, the beginning, 0. You go over to the 2, and then up 3, because the second number is 3, and we would mark this. And it's calling it point A, so we can call it point A. Now, the only other tricky thing here, you look at point C and D, you have a 0 as one of the values for the ordered pair. So for C, it's 0, 3. You don't do anything different, but just be careful. If you start at 0, which is really where you want to start, right on the origin, that first number tells you how far to go over onto the x-axis, over to the right in this case. But because it's 0, that means you go over 0, which is nothing. You don't go over at all. But the 3 is the y value, so you still got to hop up to 3. And now you're looking at a point that's actually on the y-axis, and that's going to sometimes happen. Now, same thing with D here, well, similar anyway. You have 3 for the x value, okay? So we certainly want to hop along, starting at 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go up to find our y. But here we have a 0 for y, which means we don't go up at all. That number tells us how far to go up. 0 is nothing. So we can just hang right here on the x-axis, okay? So sometimes you're going to be asked to plot points when you're given an ordered pair. Sometimes, like this question, there'll already be a point on the grid, on the coordinate plane, and you'll be asked to know what the ordered pair is. Or sometimes it'll be, say, coordinates. So if you look at this last question, it says, what are the coordinates for point F? You find point F that's already going to be on the grid, and you just match it up like we've done anything else, okay? Find the x value, oopsie daisy, the x value is a 5, I'm just lining it up like a puzzle, and the y value also happens to be 5, so that ordered pair is 5, 5, okay? Here's some more to plot on your own if you want to pause the video to try and practice. Those are just some random letters, A, B, D, H, L. That was from our independent work when we did this together. Okay, our next topic we'll get to next time. So this will be the end of video 1.